In this week's video, we've got a twisted fairy tale about a mechanic tasked with saving her archipelago from destruction. We've got a first-person puzzle game about a painter who sells his soul to enter one of his canvases. And for those who've always wanted to try out David Attenborough's job, we've got a photography game set in a fantastical world of ottergators and flying monkeys. Hi guys, and welcome once again to I Love Indies. Today we're showcasing some of the great indie games released in the third week of June 2021. To keep up to date with all things indie gaming, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notifications so you never miss a video. Feel free to comment below on which of the featured indies most interest you, and also don't forget to click the like button if you enjoy the video, as it all helps feed the YouTube algorithm. After being in development for several years, precision platformer Garlic finally got released this week. The story involves a garlic-headed protagonist climbing a sacred tower to find a cyber goddess who grants a wish to those who reach the top. It's all a rather bizarre premise, but one which is wrapped in a superb pixel art aesthetic. Garlic is an old school 2-button game, much like the NES games of the late 80s and early 90s. You have one button to jump and another to dash. You can dash in any direction, ground slam and also wall jump. The gameplay is smooth and slick. You speed through a variety of different levels, from one-screen stages to larger areas to auto-scrolling stages, one featuring a chase from a flying rat enemy. There's a generous number of checkpoints which will please many, meaning you won't have to repeat large chunks of the game if you die. There's also a range of accessibility options, such as giving yourself more health, and this opens up the game to a wider audience, making it not just for those hardcore platformer enthusiasts. Garlic features some interesting and very creative minigames. In a playable cutscene, you walk down a path avoiding hazards and kicking tin cans. In another, you come across an arcade cabinet featuring a vertical shoot 'em up. Here you can buy credits with coins you've collected, and it's a lovely little diversion from the main game. Now, if I'm going to nitpick, the game does have a couple of flaws in its current state. The colour palette used for the one-screen levels changes frequently, making the world feel a little disconnected rather than one of coherence. And the controls are not quite as tight as some of the very best games the genre has to offer, say Celeste and Super Meat Boy, particularly when it comes to using the dash move. But overall, Garlic has been well worth the wait. It's got that charming protagonist, gorgeous cutscenes and a pumping synth soundtrack. For me, it's up there with Sir Lovelot and Sock Venture as one of the best precision platformers of 2021 so far. Check it out now on the PC by way of Steam. Beasts of Maravilla got a surprise release during Saturday's Wholesome Direct showcase. It's a gorgeous 3D adventure that some may call the PC's answer to Pokemon Snap. Following the notes in your uncle's journal, you travel around a mysterious island taking pictures of the flora and the fauna. This is not your average island though. Maravilla is filled with magic and wonder. You'll see some of the strangest creatures imaginable, including hybrid flying monkey quetzals and very friendly ottergators. There are 3 main biomes of the game and each have their own distinct aesthetic and creatures. You have a checklist of all the things you need to photograph, with specific focus placed on the behaviours of one key animal in each area. For example, on the jungle level, you're tasked with capturing the quetzal monkey's tail twine and gliding. Without any real sense of danger, it's very relaxing stuff. The game certainly lives up to the wholesome name. Open your camera and snap away at your own pace. To mix things up a little, there are some simple puzzles. You can manipulate parts of the environment with your camera. Your flash can open some flower buds, allowing you to use them as stepping stones to access new areas. You also have a whistle ability, which animals react to in different ways. If you enjoyed last year's Alba, a wildlife adventure, Beasts of Maravilla is an easy one to recommend. It looks great with some fantastic use of colour and has a suitably ethereal soundtrack. Controls are easy to learn and taking photos and looking at them in your journal is great fun. The game's out now on the PC and the Nintendo Switch, and it's also coming to Xbox and PlayStation consoles soon.
One night, a mysterious figure appeared in the house, seemingly out of nowhere.
If you're a fan of first-person puzzle games like Myst, The Witness and the Telos Principle, here is Summertime Madness for your consideration. Set in 1945, you play as a painter who makes a mysterious pact to escape his war-torn country and enter one of his own paintings. But there's a catch. If the painter isn't able to find his way out by midnight, his soul will be forever trapped in the painting. Summertime Madness takes inspiration from works of classic literature, in particular Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, but perhaps it has more in common with Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, another story about a secret pact centred around a painting. The graphics of the game are stunning, the colours are striking and the attention to detail really impressive, particularly the way the wind blows blades of grass back and forth. In the world of the painting, you land in a hub world of sorts. From here, you complete a series of puzzle dioramas, with the first taking place on a ship. Others include a lighthouse and an urban city. All in some way are connected to the hub world, which evolves and becomes more populated with new things as you complete each puzzle area. I really like the way each diorama features a distinctly different aesthetic and has its own unique puzzles. You go from being able to rotate floating platforms in one area to get to a distant door, to finding your way out of an Escher-like maze in another. Some puzzles can be quite tough and definitely require creative thinking, but there's nothing fans of the genre should have too much of a problem with. Plus, there is a hint system allowing you a tip at the expense of time. And time is important. At the start, you're offered 2 game modes, Standard, which give you 6 hours to complete the game, and Hard, where you have only 3. Clocks are everywhere, reminding you of how long you've got left, and if you fail to escape in the allotted time, you lose and your soul is trapped in the painting forever. Both difficulties actually provide you with more time than you need, as the game can be completed in under 90 minutes, that is if you know exactly what you're doing, but that's not going to happen on a first playthrough. Overall, Summertime Madness is a highly polished first-person puzzler which features an intriguing story, a memorable world and some inventive puzzles. It's out this week on the PC, but it's also scheduled for all of the major consoles later in the year. Up next we have Little Shell's Adventure, a top-down action game starring a turtle tasked with saving his island from a crab invasion. The plot also focuses on family and topics such as divorce. I was immediately drawn to this one by the gorgeous pixel art and the adorable protagonist. The game looks a lot like those from the NES era and takes inspiration from the original Zelda, Minute and even the recent Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. As Little Shell, you move around a series of one-screen areas, battle lots of colourful crustaceans and talk to a cast of wacky NPCs. Combat is pretty simplistic, you get a sword early in the game, which can be thrust in 4 directions. Unlike similar 8-bit games, you really need to line up your slash to hit an enemy. Later upgrades allow you to throw your sword and even shell roll. There are plenty of costumes to buy in shops, you can dress as a Ninja Turtle or even a swashbuckling pirate, it's totally up to you. Enter dungeons, solve puzzles, fight off the horde in wave rooms and also discover secret areas. It's not a very long game, but it's an impressive achievement from a solo developer. Plus, it's currently got a 25% launch discount, making it $2.99 if you're in the UK or just under $4 in the US. Grab this hidden gem now on the PC via Steam. Already nominated for multiple awards, Minute of Islands got a surprise shadow drop release on Sunday during the E3 Future Games show. It's a game I've been waiting for some time and one I featured all the way back in February in a video for the Spring Steam Games Festival. Minute of Islands features meticulously handcrafted areas that look like something from a cartoon. In fact, I'd say the game is one of the most visually striking indies I've seen this year. You take control of Mo, a young mechanic living in an ethereal archipelago that has been polluted by dangerous spores. You're a bit of a rebel and don't wear a mask, but wear clothing that covers your mouth. It's an interesting premise, and although work started on the game well before COVID-19, it certainly resonates with these difficult times we find ourselves in. As Mo, it's your job to repair broken antennas, once built by giants to protect the islands from disease. No mechanic is complete though without a toolbox, and Mo comes equipped with a very fancy wrench-like tool called the Omni Switch. This serves 2 main purposes: to charge up and fix the antennas and guide you to your next objective. Minute of Islands is best described as a puzzle platformer, with perhaps more of the latter. Puzzles are pretty simple and mostly rely on pushing and pulling objects in the environment and pressing switches. There's a lot to interact with, but very few things can actually be picked up or serve a purpose other than to help tell the story. And the 6 or so hour story is one of the game's strengths. Narrated by an unknown voice, Mo's tale is very much about the future but also the past. You learn a lot about her relationship with her former uncle and her life in the archipelago, often through collectible memories scattered across the areas. Whilst the gameplay may not be as varied as some may have hoped, the wonderful graphics, the atmospheric soundtrack, along with most captivating story of discovery, make Minute of Islands an indie adventure well worth taking. It's out now on the PC via Steam, the Nintendo Switch, the PS4 and also the Xbox One. And that's it for this week in indie gaming. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the Isle of Indies channel and also hit that like button to help feed the algorithm. Until the next video guys, keep loving indies.